to a small boatyard in Pocasset, uh, down on Buzzards Bay. And we were down there to see what would become Little Girl. Uh, we had gotten clued into this through my brother. He had a friend of his who's one of the family members had owned the boat and just decided he didn't want anything to do with it anymore. They left it in the boatyard. And this young man moved out to California, I guess, out to the West Coast. And the family was just wanted to get rid of it. So I went down to look, and I was told that if I wanted it, it was mine. So walked into the boatyard, met a guy named Art Olive, who was the owner of the boatyard at the time. Bless his heart, I think he's probably dead now from brain cancer. I really enjoyed, nice guy. Anyway, and he had everything all set up for me to go look at the boat out in the boatyard. And it's funny. I'd seen pictures of it that sent me a picture, and when it was still in the water. And I looked at it and I thought, yeah, I'm going to try this. And I had to kind of convince my wife because I think she sensed what it was going to involve. And by the way, here we are 3 years later, and the boat's still not in the water, so she probably was right on that. But anyway, I walked out into the boatyard, and I almost walked right past the boat because what I saw in the picture didn't match the rather disheveled mess that the boat had become. And it had been up on the hard for a couple of years. It was in tough shape, really tough shape. And yet Art had a stepladder all set up right beside it for me to go up and take a look at the boat. And I climbed up, got on board, and man, the first thing I noticed was, they'd used it has a huge cockpit. And they'd just been using it. Anything that was laying around the boatyard, they'd been chucking it up in there. Just get it out of the boatyard. And I mean, there was rust stains all over the seat. There was one of the owls that you put on up in the rigging to ward off cormorants and so forth. There was one of those laying there all completely watersogged. It was just an awful, awful mess. And all of a sudden, these dreams that you build up when you get the idea, I'm going to get me a boat and I'm going to fix her all up and get her ready to sail. And all of a sudden, all those dreams just kind of went way, were diminished, let's put it that way. And especially when I opened the hatch and looked down inside the cabin, I said, it was just tiny. And, it was disheartening. The old fenders were down in there. They were all covered with mildew and rot. And it was just, everything was just a mess. But I decided to take her. And that was on the 20th. And 6 days later, we were back for the delivery. I went down to the boatyard early in the morning on January 26th. Went to the bank, made a withdrawal of $200 to pay the boat hauling company, and signed the paperwork. And paid $1 for the boat, and she was mine. And I've never looked back. It's been a lot of work. It's been 3 years. 3 years. It's hard to believe, but. Thank you all for following me on this whole process. Lord willing, if the creek don't rise, we're going to get her in the water this coming summer. But I wanted to kind of do this commemorative video of that whole first experience of getting to the boatyard and seeing the boat for the first time, and how kind of shattering it was to the dream. That first day, after signing the paper, paying the $1, I went out into the cockpit, and before leaving, I took the old beat-up, delaminated, rotting tiller off the boat and brought it home with me. And that was my very first project for Little Girl, was building her a brand new tiller, and I've got that whole thing documented in a video all by itself. But listen, thank you for following this this whole series that I've been doing for the last 3 years now. And I hope you follow me all the way till we get her in the water this coming summer. And I'm just, fingers crossed, Lord willing, I just really going to work my tail off between now and spring to try to get the hull finished sanding out. And I'm going to try to confine my work to the things that only need to be done to get her ready for the water. So anyway, thanks for coming by. I'm going to let the rest of the just video go through this and kind of show the beginning to end and where we're at right now. So appreciate you being a part of this and following Restoring Little Girl. Take care. guys. Just want to do a little wrap up on this video. I when I got to doing this, I realized after doing so many of the different things that had been done that it would be absolutely ridiculous to try to get every single thing that's been done. I mean, there's so much that I left out of this video, but I hope you realize just by looking at what's in here that 3 years of work has gotten a lot accomplished, and I'm really proud of it. We worked hard on it, and I think that Little Girl is going to be a very special boat when we get done. Like I said, at this point, I'm going to start trying to refine and confine the work to what needs to be done to get her in the water. But at the same time, winter work is winter work. And there are some things that I'm going to try to get done inside the boat that probably don't need to be done for the water, but they need to be done for the sake of, just kind of finishing out what's been started. So listen, hope you've enjoyed this, and I've really enjoyed making it. It was a little bit overwhelming to see how much had been accomplished in the last 3 years. I just hope that you just hope you can see it, and I've gotten a lot of gratification from being able to get my hands in there and work and just try to get Little Girl back to the restored condition that I had kind of visualized for her from that first moment that I saw her in the boatyard. So, hey, thanks for stopping by Restoring Little Girl. Catch you later.